When the sun falls below the mountain, all children must be inside their homes. No running late. No asking why. No exceptions. Everyone knew the law. The village of Akachi sat nestled between thick forests and a winding river, where mud houses stood in careful rows and cooking smoke rose gently into the afternoon sky. During daylight hours, Akachi looked like any other village. Children splashed in the shallow parts of the river, women balanced water pots on their heads, men walked the yam fields, and elders sat beneath the iroko tree sharing wisdom with anyone who would listen. But when evening approached, everything changed. The moment the sun began its descent toward the mountain, a deep tension settled over Akachi like a heavy blanket. Mothers stopped their work and called sharply for their children. The village gong sounded 3 times, dong, 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 a warning that had echoed through Akachi for more generations than anyone could count. Children abandoned their games mid-play and rushed home. Doors closed one after another. Wooden bars slid into place with solid thuds. No child had ever been allowed outside after sunset in Akachi. And no adult would explain why. Some villagers whispered it was because of leopards that prowled the forest at night. Others claimed evil spirits wandered when darkness fell. But whenever a child pressed for answers, the adults' faces would harden like dried clay. Some questions, they would say family, should not be asked. Yet in every generation, there is always one child who cannot stop asking questions. In Akachi, that child was named Amara. Amara was 11 seasons old, tall for her age, with quick eyes that missed nothing. While other children accepted the village rules without thought, Amara constantly wondered about the things left unexplained. Why did her mother check the doorbell 3 times every evening? Why did her father's hands tremble slightly as he secured the window shutters? Why did the entire village become silent as a grave once night arrived? And most puzzling of all, why did the adults look so relieved when morning finally came? One evening, as orange light painted the sky and shadows grew long across the village paths, Amara sat outside her family's compound watching the sun sink lower. Her grandmother was pounding cassava nearby. Her younger brother played with stones in the dirt. Everything seemed ordinary. But something felt different tonight. The air felt heavier somehow. The village gong sounded. Dong! 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 Children scattered, running toward their homes. Amara stood slowly, reluctant. Amara, her grandmother's voice cut through the air like a blade. Inside. Now. She obeyed, walking into the dim interior of their home. Her grandmother followed immediately, pushing the heavy wooden door closed and sliding the thick bar into its slots. Then she moved to each window, checking the shutters carefully. Satisfied, she finally turned to the cooking pot. Amara watched her closely. "Grandmother," she asked quietly, "why do we hide every night?" Her grandmother's stirring stopped for just a moment. Then she forced a small smile. "We do not hide, child. We protect ourselves." "From what?" No answer came. Outside, the last sliver of sunlight disappeared behind the mountain. True darkness fell over Akachi. Inside every home, families sat in tense silence. No one sang at night in Akachi. No one told stories. The village became unnaturally quiet, as if holding its breath. Amara lay on her sleeping mat, staring at the thatched roof above her. Sleep would not come. Her mind kept circling back to the same question: what happens outside after sunset? Hours crawled by. The cooking fire faded to glowing coals. Her grandmother and brother slept. The silence deepened. Then Amara heard something that made her heart jump. Singing. Children's voices, floating through the night air. A familiar song, one the children of Akachi sang while playing by the river. But that was impossible. Every child was locked inside. Unless... Amara sat up slowly. More voices joined the singing, laughing, calling to one another. It sounded like dozens of children playing outside in the darkness. Her pulse quickened. She crept carefully toward the small window. The shutter was tied closed with strong rope. Amara hesitated, knowing she would face punishment if caught. But the voices outside continued, drawing her curiosity like a moth to flame. Very slowly, she loosened the rope just enough to peek through a small gap. Moonlight flooded the village, bright as day. And what Amara saw made her blood turn cold. Children everywhere. Running through the village paths, playing games, climbing trees, drawing in the dirt. Children her age, younger children, even toddlers. But something was terribly, horribly wrong. Amara pressed her face closer to the gap. One girl passed directly through the moonlight, and Amara recognized her immediately as Zainab, the potter's daughter. But Zainab was supposed to be locked inside her home, just like everyone else. Then Amara noticed more familiar faces. Obioma, who always won the running races. Chokwu, who could climb trees faster than anyone. Neka, who had just lost her front tooth that morning. All of them outside, playing in the moonlight as if nothing was wrong. But their movements were too smooth, too perfect. And their laughter sounded hollow, like echoes in an empty pot. Then one child turned toward the moon, and Amara saw clearly. Their eyes were completely white. Not normal eyes. Just blank, milky whiteness where eyes should be. Amara's hand flew to her mouth to stop a scream. A cold wind swept through Akachi. Every single child stopped moving at once. Then slowly, like stalks of grass bending in unison, they all turned toward the houses. Toward the windows. Toward the locked doors. As if searching for something. One of them spoke, a small boy standing near the well. His voice was sweet but unnatural. "Come outside," he whispered. The other smiled. "Not like children. Like predators. Come outside and play," they repeated together. Amara slammed the shutter closed, her hands shaking violently. Her heart hammered so hard she thought it might burst from her chest. Outside, the whispers continued, drifting through the village like poisonous smoke. For the first time in her life, Amara understood why the doors stayed locked. Because those were not the children of Akachi outside. They were something else. Something wearing the children's faces. And they were waiting for someone to open a door. Amara did not close her eyes that entire night. Long after she shut the window, she heard them outside. Laughing. Running. Knocking softly on doors. Tap. 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 Each knock made her flinch. When dawn finally broke and the rooster crowed, the sounds outside stopped instantly. Her grandmother rose and cautiously opened the door, looking carefully before allowing Amara and her brother to step outside. The village returned to life as if nothing had happened. Real children ran through the paths, playing and shouting. Amara walked slowly to the river where other children were splashing. Zainab was there, laughing with friends. Amara studied her carefully. Normal eyes. Normal movements. Normal voice. The real Zainab, alive and safe. Yet Amara had seen her, or something wearing her face, outside last night. Her stomach churned. That afternoon, Amara sought out the oldest person in Akachi, a woman called Mama Ikin, whose memory stretched back further than anyone else's. The old woman sat in the shade of her compound, weaving a basket. "Grandmother," Amara said quietly, "I saw them last night." The basket fell from Mama Ikin's hands. "So what, child?" "The children outside." But they were not real. The old woman's face went pale. She looked around quickly to ensure they were alone, then pulled Amara close. "Tell me everything." Amara explained it all, the singing, the white eyes, the way they called for children to come outside. When she finished, Mama Ikin closed her eyes and sighed deeply. "I feared someone would see eventually," she whispered. "What are they?" Amara asked. The old woman's voice dropped even lower. They are called the Ajo Mmuo, the bad spirits. Long ago, before Akachi existed, they wandered these lands without form. They envied human children who could run and play and laugh freely. So they learned to steal children's reflections. Reflections? Amara frowned. Yes. They copy everything, faces, voices, movements. They become perfect copies. Mama Ikin's voice trembled. But they can only exist outside at night. And they can only enter the human world if a child willingly steps outside to join them. Amara's throat tightened. What happens to the real child? The old woman looked away. The child becomes trapped in their world. And the spirit takes their place among the living. By morning, no one can tell the difference. That's why we lock the doors, Amara breathed. Yes. Many generations ago, children began vanishing. Families would wake to find their child gone, replaced by something that looked identical but felt wrong. It took time to understand what was happening. Mama Ikin's hands shook. The elders created the law. Lock every child inside after sunset. Never open a door. Never go outside. It has protected Akachi ever since. But what if someone forgets? What if a child opens a door by accident? Mama Ikin's expression turned grave. Then the Ajo Mmuo will finally enter Akachi. And they will not stop with one child. That night, when the gong sounded its warning, Amara helped her grandmother secure every window and door. She told her brother to stay far from the walls. And when darkness fell and the singing began outside again, Amara did not look. But she listened. The spirits knocked on doors throughout the village. They called children by name, using voices of friends and siblings. They promised games and treats and adventures. Yet every door in Akachi remained closed. As the nights passed, Amara noticed something changing. The adults no longer kept the truth hidden. They began teaching the children why the law existed. Because knowledge, they realized, was stronger protection than ignorance. The children of Akachi learned about the Ajo Mmuo, learned to recognize their tricks, learned why the doors must never open after dark. And the spirits, finding no easy prey, eventually faded back into the forest shadows. Years later, when Amara became a grandmother herself, she would sit beneath the Iroko tree and tell the story to wide-eyed children. She would explain why Akachi kept its children indoors after sunset. Because some dangers wear familiar faces. Because some monsters look exactly like the ones we love. And because the safest place, when darkness falls, is behind a locked door with family who knows the truth. The law remains unchanged in Akachi to this day. When the sun touches the mountain, all children go inside. No running late. No asking why. Because everyone knows why now. And knowing keeps them safe. Tell me in the comments if you enjoyed this story. Hit that like button and subscribe for more interesting stories on folktales and epic.